What's up, core reporters? Welcome back to my channel. It's time to recap the final 2 episodes of Love is Blind UK. First of all, a big thank you to all of you who joined me here for the entire season. It's been so incredible talking about it with you. I just want to let you guys know, and those of you who are new here, that I've got an affiliate link in the description box of this video. If you want a free 7-day trial to another streaming platform called Philo that has like over 73 different reality TV channels as well, if you truly are a reality junkie. So in episodes 10 and 11 of Love is Blind UK, it's time, like the weddings happen, you guys. And so I gotta say that there were some things that really, truly shocked me. I kind of mentioned this like a little bit like in one of my recaps that I worried that Freddie puts on a front for the TV to play the nice guy. And I'm kind of like thinking that he low-key proved me right. Like we'll get into why I feel that way a little bit later on in this recap. But for the time being, let's start at the top of episode 10. In episode 10, they are celebrating their bachelorette parties and bachelor parties as well. And I noticed that Sabrina changed her engagement ring. Initially, she had a beautiful trilogy ring, and the center stone of the trilogy ring was like black diamond, right? And the other two were like classic, like clear diamonds. And I always thought it was so beautiful, and it was kind of like gothic chic the way that I see her. But now in the bachelorette parties, you see her with like, you know, a plain classic round diamond solitaire, which, you know, listen, it's a classic, beautiful ring, but it's just, you know, I really liked her first one too. But listen, you can't go wrong with either one. So Sabrina is very sure about her decision to marry Steven, but when we cut to the other like couples and pairs, we find out that Ollie is not yet sure about whether or not he really wants to marry Demi. Tom is still on the fence about marrying Maria. And Freddie is starting to express doubts about taking a leap of faith and marrying Maria. Remember, Freddie, Katherine, right? Remember, like, Katherine has been rather snippy with him. He thinks she's materialistic. She was flirting with Steven in front of his face, like, or Sam, sorry. Like, there's just been a lot of stuff in that relationship. But meanwhile, Katherine, all of a sudden, she's like sure that she wants to go ahead and marry Freddie, you guys. She's telling her friends that she is just 1000% locked and loaded in that relationship, and she just needs for him to go ahead and say yes too. And listen, we won't have to wait too long to find out what actually goes down, because next up, we start to see all of these couples' weddings. And we start off with Steven and Sabrina. And I got to say, they both looked super, super sharp. I love Steven's suit, super like unique. I love the bow tie. I love everything about it. It's like white but cream. I love Sabrina's dress on her. And it was, you know, really cool to see with her without her bangs. I love her bangs, just like I love her quirky teeth. But she looked really cute with her hair pulled back as well. And their wedding ceremony was beautiful. Like they just, like the whole room and everything looked so romantic, so like elevated, so sophisticated. And it wasn't hard to look that way in such a stunning venue. But they really tied it together with like their flowers. Then on top of that, they both prepared very beautiful vows for one another. And I was thrilled to see them both say, I do. Although the producers did kind of have me for a bit. They almost made me believe that Sabrina was going to say no to Steven because he said I do directly. And then like when it was her turn, they had like the suspenseful music, the long pause. I was like, no, please, please, please don't say no. Don't say no. Then next up, you guys, was Tom and Maria. Listen, Maria is just fawning over this man. You would think that she found the next coming of Christ, the way that she is so into this man. And I'm just so confused because to me, she and he are fundamentally incompatible. Like she has a certain set of values, like more traditional values and gender roles within her relationship. This guy does not at all adhere to it. And rather than like, you know, at her grown age going, oh, well, this is not a good match. Like we're always going to like butt heads over this. Like this man, like, you know, won't even pay me a $2 ice cream and he's going to hold a grudge over it. Like, girl, like I would walk away. Like I can't be with a stingy man. Absolutely not. But she's over here like, oh my God, gushing over him. Like he is amazing. And she just can't wait to marry him. I think she's one of those girls that just wants to get married, whether or not it's a good decision, right? Like just so that she can say she's married. And I find that to be a very dangerous and sad game to play. On top of that, Tom was negging her in one of the last episodes before these new episodes dropped. Remember when he was like, oh, low-key, Maria, I judged you when you said that you were a makeup artist because I thought makeup artists were shallow. And like, you know, like I am a PR professional, so I'm of a certain caliber. Like, girl, there's nothing intriguing about this man that like should lead you to want to marry him. Like, I need her to examine what is up with her internally that she would be like chomping at the bit for this man. Anyway, he, on the other hand, he's a lot more like clear, like, hey, listen, I don't think that she and I share the same set of values. I don't know that this is going to be a good idea to marry her. So like the juxtaposition between her being so sure and this guy pretty obviously like not being into it was like, oh my God, you know? And on top of that, his mom stayed true to her word and did not show up to their wedding, which to me is always a red flag, right? When a parent doesn't show up, the person pretty much never actually goes ahead and marries. Although you guys can let me know if there have been exceptions to this rule. I'm sure there have been maybe once or twice, but it's pretty much like a solid rule. And, you know, her mom then, like, and her mom is so adorable. She's a very loving, welcoming, wonderful lady. She goes to Tom's groom suite and lets him know that she will love him as a son and she respects him and loves him and wants him to take care of Maria. And as she's like just saying all these wonderful, beautiful things to Tom, this to me was when it was like even more obvious that he was going to say no, because he's just sitting there like tight-lipped, like, oh my God, like, you know, she's like, oh, I love you so much. Like, you know, take care of my daughter. He's like, because he knows that he has no intention of staying with her. He has no intention of actually marrying her. And he just does not want to, like, you know, and now she's making him feel guilty. She's not trying to, but obviously anyone would feel guilty under those circumstances, right? Now, Maria, I got to say, I've been saying this from the beginning. She's one of the prettiest one there. She is a stunning, stunning, stunning girl. And she made an absolutely beautiful bride, but there were some aspects here that I didn't love. So this is how she looked on the wedding day. You can't see behind the beautiful bouquet, but she also had like a watch too and a bracelet on her right hand. So like in terms of accessories here, like if you were just looking at her, you would think she didn't have a single accessory on, you know? I'm like, girl, not the studs, like with a low neckline like this, put on at least some earrings that like dangle, like a little bit of hang time there. A necklace would have been nice, even if it's just a delicate chain or something like that, like pendant necklace, something, you know. I felt like she was very much under accessorized. And on top of that, she didn't even wear a veil, which I feel like is just, you know, was a really big mistake on her part. I feel like a veil always ties together the look. For example, look at Sabrina and her beautiful veil. She just looked very underwhelming to me, you know. Beautiful dress, beautiful girl, but the accessories were lacking. By the way, the watch she was wearing was a gift from her late dad. It was one of his final gifts to her. So although I did, when I first saw it, before she explained what it even was or where she got it, I was like, really, a watch? Like, huh, I don't know that I love that. But when she talked about the sentimental or the sentimentality behind it, like I really, you know, was like, oh, okay, now I get it. And it does like tie the look together. And at least you have some kind of accessory, you know? Now, she walked down the aisle and Tom, like he looked really, really like, you know, smitten by her. One thing about him is he's attracted to her, that's for sure, physically. But like I think he's turned off by like her desires and her expectations in a relationship, just like he has a right to be, you know. And just like if I were her, I'd be turned off by his desires and expectations in a relationship, you know. And they do a little peck when like they meet at the end of the aisle. They're like, wow. And I'm like, oh, so does this mean like they're actually going to say yes? Like, why would you kiss her, you know, if you didn't want to marry her, right? But anyway, it was just like a little kiss, I guess. Like some people out here kissing their parents like that, so maybe it's not much of anything. So it's time for Tom to give his vow, and he gives the blandest speech about loving Maria that lasted like 2 seconds and mainly relied on him finding her beautiful. And it's like, really, that's all you can find? Very obviously your heart's not in it, which is okay. Maria then gave a speech, like, and it was a proper speech, you know, and she was just so emotional. Like she was really like letting him know about how much she loves him. And he's just like standing there awkwardly, like rocking back and forth. You know, again, I think he's someone who he really doesn't want to hurt her feelings. You know, I do think he's a nice guy and everything, but I think he didn't even realize how much she loved him. And he's like, oh God, like, why? I wish she were like, you know, not so smitten at this point. Now, the officiant asks him first if he wants to marry Maria, and he says that he loves her, but he doesn't feel like it's the right time for him to marry. And then he mentions their differences in values. And I gotta be honest, you guys, like Mayo Sandwich Tom made the right choice. They are not fundamentally compatible. They like have completely different expectations for their relationship dynamics. You know, he wants something that's more 50-50, whatever you have it, like, and that's fine for him. But that does not gel well with a woman like Maria, who's more traditional. She wants the man to court her, to pay for a $2 ice cream, like simple things like that, like there would have been a lot of resentment on her part towards him and his part towards her down the line. So I just wish that she was the one who said that, because she was the one who came out here to talk about how important her culture is to her. So it's like, why don't you like stick within like that meaning? It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to be with another Moroccan man or whatever, but stay true to what it is that you're claiming is so important to you. Like, you shouldn't be so desperate to get married that you're willing to forsake like your fundamental like needs and wants and desires in a relationship, right? Now, he kisses her hand and walks off. And it was really, really sad because her family is so, so supportive. They were all there to like, walk her down the aisle. There was a lot of mention of her late father, her brother. Like she talked to him about how much she like, appreciated him stepping up and being there after their dad passed away. Like her family was so, so devastated for her. And she just stands there alone at the altar. And I was like, oh my God, like poor girl. And as Tom is doing his exit interview on why, like in addition to the values, like he keeps on hammering that. He's like, yeah, like I don't want to raise my son to think that he needs to be paying for dates for women. And I don't want my daughter to think that she should be spoiled by a man, like, all right, Tom, I'm not even going to mention anything else. Good luck to you on all that. Now, Demi and Ollie are the next couple to walk down the aisle. So you see them get prepared for their wedding day. And Demi mentions that Ollie hasn't even been in contact with her since they left the apartments, which is very weird. I think it had been like a day or something like that, a day or two between leaving the apartments and then coming here for like the wedding. And for your fiance to not have any kind of contact with you, not try to reach out, it's like, okay, well, I guess, are you ghosting me on our engagement just to like pop up at the wedding? Like that's weirdo behavior, right? And you can just tell she's not into it, right? So she says that she's no longer sure about marrying him. She tells her parents that too. Ollie's dad joins him in the suite, marking the first time we actually see anybody from Ollie's world, or family, I should say, on this show. He seems like a nice enough man. And he just tells Ollie to do the right thing. And hang on, you guys, hang on. And Ollie's response to do the right thing was just to hand his dad like a flask of booze. I don't know if it's rum, I don't know if it's whiskey, something, and to do a shot. So basically that's just how that went. And so I got to say that Demi's mom, by the way, I absolutely loved her look for the wedding. She looked so pretty in pink. Her dad was adorable, matching her and everything like that. And it was such an adorable little thing. And let me show you how Demi dressed herself for her wedding. I got to say, she was another very beautiful bride. However, she's another beautiful bride that under accessorized, because here, look how bare she looks, right? I loved the way she did her veil over herself. The makeup was stunning and everything, but the earrings were very small. And then on top of that, they were just like little tiny micro studs. And on top of that, she didn't have any like necklace or anything like that. So to me, it was like another bare look that could have been zhuzhed up a bit. But here's the thing. She knew she was going to say no. So I doubt that she wanted to put all this effort just to, just to say no at the altar, right? And then she didn't have any bracelets. So basically all she had in terms of jewelry for her look were some like, barely noticeable studs. And, I think she could have done better. But listen, when you're planning to say no, why bother, right? Now, she tells her parents again that she's unsure about her decision, like she doesn't think she wants to marry Ollie or anything like that. And I'm really hoping that she follows through with it, because I'm tired of seeing girls become very desperate and say yes to people and things that are just not for them, and they know are not for them, but they just want these titles or these situations so badly, right? And on top of that, I forgot to mention, by the way, that Demi's dress was kind of short at the front, like awkwardly short, where like it exposed like her feet just dangling there in her heels. I was like, girl, now why would you do that? I know you don't want to trip over your dress, but damn. Anyway, and by the way, can we go over, like, let me pull it up for the millionth time. Look at how stunning the florals were for her wedding, right? That's such a beautiful shade of pink, the kind of like light yellow, baby yellow, the white and everything like that. Stunning, stunning, stunning. When she walked down the aisle, Ollie was very emotional to see her walking down, which was kind of weird, because it's like, okay, like you're so emotional, like you're madly in love with this girl, you can't live without her. Meanwhile, you can live without talking to her, right? Like she was telling us that you've been ghosting her, boo-boo. So is this like performative or what? Like it was just very, very weird. I wasn't a fan of that at all. Now, They were very awkward together at the altar. It's like they barely knew each other anymore or something like that. And that's got to be really heartbreaking for the two of them. You could just tell that something was wrong. All these vows made it look like he wanted to marry Demi, but then she seemed over it. Like she was just staring at him deadpan as he was reciting them. And the officiant then, and this is like towards the end of episode 1, the officiant then asked Demi if she wants to marry Ollie. And you can just tell she's about to say no because she's just sitting there like this. You know, and so now that's going to lead us into episode 11 of this beautiful show called Love is Blind UK that I absolutely love. And as we pick up, Demi is still standing there getting ready to respond to the question. And her answer, of course, is that she will not be marrying Ollie today. And shockingly enough, Ollie's shocked. I'm like, you're shocked? Why are you shocked? Don't be shocked, right? Like, you haven't been communicating with this girl. Why would she say yes to marry you, right? Like, right? So he's just sitting there like, why? What do you mean why? You have not been communicating with her. Like, so weird. And she explains that, right? And she's like, listen, Ollie, I've learned to love myself in a whole new way. And by the way, that's a testament to you. So thank you for that. And I now know what I want in a husband. And unfortunately, this is just not it right now. But maybe we can continue to work on our relationship. And I did think that that was a really beautiful like way of putting it. So now here we are, 2 for 2 in terms of people who say no to marrying, right? Starting off their no's by saying, I love you, first and foremost. So if someone's at the altar and they say, I love you, before responding to the question of whether or not they want to marry you, they're stalling and getting ready to let you down gently, it feels like. Now, her sweet dad, he just sits there crying as she's reciting this like self-love speech and everything. And then like they go their separate ways. Ollie tells his friend that he's low-key, like, you know, relieved that she said no, like, you know, like it would have been terrible if like they crashed and burned after marriage, right? Now, can we get into a wedding that I really, really, truly am looking forward to watching play out? That is none other than Bobby and Jasmine. And I gotta see where the heck I put my photo of those two because nope, that's Sabrina and Steven. Ah, here they are. Bobby and Jasmine. I was really looking forward to seeing the two of them. And Jasmine's mom, you guys, like, she like, I don't know if she low-key hates her daughter, if she's low-key jealous of her daughter, like, or she just loves her so much that she wants to sabotage her life so that like she can have her to herself for the rest of her life. I don't know, but whatever she's got going on with Jasmine is incredibly toxic. So as Jasmine is getting ready with her girls, she tells us that her trifling ass mom told her that she thinks that that Jasmine loved Bobby more than Bobby loves Jasmine, and that Bobby probably can't even support a family financially right now, like just all sorts of things that Jasmine says made her like doubt, like, you know, whether or not she actually wants to marry Bobby. And I'm like, damn it, don't do that, Jasmine. Like, you know this guy, you've had these important conversations, you know how much he earns, and like, it's about how much you want your man to earn, not how much your mom wants your man to earn, right? So don't give up a good thing just because of your mom, right? Meanwhile, Bobby's mom seems really adorable and really supportive as well. So this whole time, I thought the man was like Blasian or something like that, but his mom is white. So I guess either the dad was Blasian, maybe Black, maybe Southeast Asian. I don't know, but I digress. Not that interesting, not that important to the storyline, but yeah. Now, moving right along, I gotta say that I loved the cut of Jasmine's bridesmaid dresses. They were so, so cute. It's that like new thing where it's like asymmetrical and it has a scarf that goes off the shoulder. Super beautiful. I did not love the color of the dresses. I felt like the brown was kind of like, you know, stuffy, like old kind of, but I loved, loved, loved the cut. Now, let's get into Jasmine's toxic mom. So she gets into the bridal suite and she looks beautiful. I was like, wow, I love your outfit. She looks gorgeous. But then she says something where it's like, now why would you say that? Right? She's like, Jasmine compliments her on how beautiful she looks. She's like, thanks. I didn't want you to upstage me. Now, why would you say that at your daughter's wedding? Are you in competition with Jasmine? Does Jasmine know she's in competition with you? Like, that's so weird. Jasmine, meanwhile, looked absolutely stunning. She's a very gorgeous girl. She's another one of my runaway beauties for this season. And I'm sorry, but Jasmine's mom, like, she's so weird. She is a mom from hell, the mother-in-law from hell, just weird. Low-key jealous of her and trying to sabotage her at every turn under the guise of extreme love. Anyway, I'm glad that Jasmine got her dress tailored, you know, because it fit her like a glove and really brought out her best attributes. So the two of them walk down the aisle and Bobby reads his vows to Jasmine. And Like they just, wow, like he calls Jasmine the kind of love that only comes around once in a lifetime. Then Jasmine gets emotional reading her vows, and she talks about how Bobby showed her a kind of love she didn't know existed or think she deserved. Like these two truly, truly love each other. I really hope that she does not let her mom ruin this for her. She is so happy. She's gone through so much. She's finally found what she's looking for. Do not let your mom ruin it for you. Please, Jasmine, I beg you. And luckily, I did not have to beg for too long because Jasmine ultimately wound up saying yes to marrying Bobby, just like Bobby said yes to marrying Jasmine. And now I feel like my life is complete. So good. I think this is one of the couples that's going to stay together for the longest. I really also love Steven and Sabrina, but I worry about him being a London boy and her being an Irish girl and how that's going to work out. But I think with Jasmine and Bobby, like it's going to be a lot smoother of a transition. Though I do hope that both marriages last like a lifetime, right? Now, but at this point, you guys, I completely forgot about Nicole and Benaya. I thought that we were going to be rounding it up here, ending the season with Kat and Freddie. But then before you know it, Nicole pops out of the limo getting ready to talk about marrying Benaya. And I said, oh, girl, I completely forgot about you. I don't even know why, because I did really like their storyline as well, right? Now, Nicole claims to be confused about her decision. I'm like, girl, stop. You know you're 100% going to marry Benaya. Let's just get to it. You're doing, like the producers told you to pretend to be confused. You're not. I do have to say that I wish Nicole got her dress tailored. She was absolutely drowning in it. She's a beautiful girl, beautiful figure, but she's a very petite girl, like short. And so she needs a lot more like support and tailoring when it comes to something as long as a gown. I am glad that she wore jewelry, but I think it was jewelry that kind of clashed with her look. So I don't know if you can see it too well in this photo because it's mirrored, but she's got two necklaces on. The first pendant to me was perfect, just nice and dainty. The second one just kind of was like, this is like a regular, like degular, like, you know, plain. Like the first is like a dainty pendant, like elegant. The second one is just like a random, like bold piece of jewelry you get at like Ardennes or Claire's or something like that. You know, I was like that kind of clashes with the bridal theme for me, but I digress. At least she's accessorizing, unlike most of the ladies here. Damn. And she was gorgeous and she looked absolutely stunning though. Nicole is super, super pretty. I still can't believe that Sam, of all people, was out here talking about, you know, kind of low key saying she's not attractive. Anyway, she and Ben totally transformed their wedding venue. So like every like couple brings a different feel to the space, right? Like I felt like with Sabrina and Steven, it was like elegant, like light and airy. You see these plants here, like they're very like low key. And then with the Demi and Ollie, there was like more pinks and stuff like that, like really, really beautiful. But then when Nicole and Benaya got married, you see these giant tropical plants and stuff. I'm like, I wonder if she's an island gal. Where's my girl from? If any of you guys know, feel free to leave it in the comment section. But I really loved the look and feel of it. And he was just so emotional watching her walk down the aisle. And his vows were about as profound as you would imagine, right? Like he really is a heartfelt person. He says, of course, when asked if he'll marry Nicole, and she says, I do as well. And I'm so happy that we are officially on our third marriage here. By the way, like, first of all, we're doing really well. But by the way, I did also hear that there were 11 engagements total in the UK, you guys. Like, that is a lot of engagement. The UK folks are ready to commit. Now I'm wondering how many of the people who did not make it onto the show actually really genuinely made it down the aisle too, you know? But anyway, it was so cute to see how happy Nicole and Benaya were. They were like walking down the aisle, thanking each other for being so amazing, talking about how happy they are, how good their hearts felt and stuff. It was adorable, really, truly. So now, last but not least, it is finally time for Kat and Freddie's wedding. If you guys have been watching my recaps from the very beginning, you'll know that I was like a diehard Kat and Freddie stan. You know, Fred Cat, like they were my people. I thought they were soulmates. I thought that they were just going to be together forever, right? But then the cracks started showing when Freddie admitted to being a cheater in his past. Kat got turned off by it and just started acting very like hostile towards him. So I'm kind of nervous about how all of this is going to go down when they eventually walk down the aisle. I do have to say that Kat's wedding dress was the most stunning of all to me. Like it fit her like a glove, absolutely beautiful. As she arrives at her suite and she's greeted by a love letter from Freddie. And I forgot to mention that even before this, like when they were doing the bachelorette stuff, Freddie had also left a love letter for her and everything like that. Like he has been like to me letting her know that he wants to go ahead and get married to her. Like their differences, whatever they were going through, is water under the bridge, and he's like ready and down for this. So I'm like, oh my God, like, and we know that Kat has been sure lately, right, about marrying him. So I'm like, wow, like we're really doing this, y'all. This is exciting. So she arrives at her suite. She's greeted by that love letter. And then he also gifts her some beautiful, beautiful earrings that you see on her ears here that match the pear shape of her engagement ring. Like he really was so thoughtful about it all too, right? And she is just so happy. She's telling everyone about like how thoughtful he is with all of these gifts and love letters and like how she wants to marry him and everything. And no offense to Kat, but I was surprised she didn't get her roots touched up for her wedding. I'm like, all right, girl, like, because she had a friend who also had that thing where like, you know, like how like you're like blonde people, like you're blonde when you're young, and then like as you grow older, you just become a brunette. And then some people fight against it, you know, and they're dyeing their hair blonde. The friend had that too, but she was like touching it up better. So like her like hair was not as dark up top as like Kat's was, you know what I mean? But anyway, like I said, she looked really, really pretty. I loved her dress and stuff. I also loved the florals at their wedding as well. I am a sucker for light purple, white, dark purple combinations. It reminded me of Bliss and Zach's wedding from Love is Blind US. Now, Freddie's brother walking him down the aisle was just really, really beautiful. He was his best man after all. Both of them had very emotional, beautiful vows to one another, with Kat telling Freddie that she knew he was special from the moment she first heard his voice and that she's never letting go. And then Freddie tells her that they were meant to be together just to turn around and say no, that he doesn't want to marry her. So at this point, I'm like, was I right about Freddie? Is he a fake nice guy? What, like, why would you lead her on like this, Freddie, if you were going to say no? Why are you leaving these love notes talking about you cannot wait, you really want to do this and stuff like that? You're buying her diamond earrings before the wedding to wear down the aisle just for you to stand up there in front of her family and friends and your family and friends and reject her. To me, that was mean. That was MEAN. I really did not like that. Like, he should have put some distance between the two of them to not give her that impression if that's the way he felt, right? For example, Maria and Tom. Maria was gushing over this man, despite this man very obviously being curt, short, and like not like, you know, having her believe that he was going to say yes or that he was madly in love. Like his vow to her was like some short and sweet nonsense that wasn't even emotional. And you're telling this girl you're soulmates and stuff just to turn around and dump her. Like that is like really like, genre, c'est émotionnellement violent, you know, that's just so like the whiplash of it all. I really did not like that, to be honest with you guys. And by the way, I feel like Kat almost kind of saw it coming. I hope they had a discussion about it because maybe she's like pretending to be blindsided, because this does happen sometimes in the Love is Blind world where like they talk about what they're going to say like at the altar, and then someone decides to act blindsided for the cameras to get like victim points. So I kind of wonder if that's what Kat was doing here, because I don't know. I really hope that Freddie told her before that he was going to say no and he didn't blindside her like that, because this would have been just really shocking to the system otherwise, right? But yeah, anyway, I feel like she kind of maybe suspected it because she looked like very like startled and like scared and hesitant when she said I do. I was like, that's not really the way you want to say I do, but I digress. Now, he then hugs her, but she doesn't want to hug him back, and she tells him to stop hugging her. And she's just left standing up there humiliated when her dad comes up to comfort her. They walk off together. Then she tells him to like, you know, she wants to be alone. And as she's walking past, Freddie's in the hallway too, crying with his friends about his decision. I'm like, why are you crying? You dumped the girl. Like, you know, like you're fine, right? Anyway, Kat talks about how she feels numb and unwanted. And I felt really, really terribly for her because she had been rather open about her abandonment issues, right? And the source of them being like her being adopted and stuff. So that was really sad. But listen, Kat, you shouldn't have been so bitchy to Freddie or like flirting with another man right in his face and stuff. Like you treated him rather poorly. So it doesn't surprise me that he said no to you. And here's the thing though, Freddie didn't mention that when he said why he said no to Kat. He said that he said no to Kat because she lived a very materialistic lifestyle. So it feels like all the guys are saying that Kat's basically a groupie who tries to go for like sugar daddies or something like that. But it's like, okay, well, she told you all about that stuff from the very beginning. So why even get engaged to her if you knew that this is not what you wanted, you know? Like, why waste her time? Like, I don't know. I don't like that, to be honest with you. I don't know. Freddie, are you a fake nice guy? DM me or leave a comment down below. Are you a fake nice guy? Because it kind of feels like you are. Anyway, he sits down with Kat's parents, who are really distraught about the entire ordeal. Like, and he tells them that he wants to make his relationship with Kat work so that they can eventually get married. But I'm sorry, once you do that to someone, like you leave them at the altar like that, and they just run off crying and they feel humiliated. Like, I don't know that you can ever really truly get married, like without that person like being scared and traumatized over the way you handle things the first time, you know? The parents hug him and accept that. And then next he visits Kat in the bridal suite and he tells her like the same thing, that he wants to keep working on the relationship. And she says that she never wants to walk down the aisle again. And I felt terribly for her with that. And he just asks her to trust what they have and to work through things together. And then he finishes off by telling her that he loves her, but she does not respond. And the season just ends there, basically, with everyone talking about whether or not they feel like love truly is blind. Whew, that was a heavy ending, you guys. My heart broke for Kat, even though she was a little bit of an F girl. I feel like things could have been ended better. You know, things could have ended better for her, but it is what it is. Anyway, I watched like the montage, then I watched the end credits, and I was waiting for them to announce their reunion, but I didn't see the announcement of it. And I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to be soon because I really want to know where everybody's at now, and you know, if she and Freddie are still dating. My vote is no, that they're not still dating. And I want to know where Ollie and Demi are, because he wanted to keep dating too, right? And I hope that Maria found someone new who is more compatible with her values, but we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, guys, let me know how you felt about the last 2 episodes of Love is Blind UK, the weddings. Are you happy to see the married couples? Like, were they what you were expecting? The people who got married, you know, that you thought were going to get married, got married. The people that you thought would split up, split up. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if you know anything about the reunion, please feel free to let me know about that too. Okay, you guys? Take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye now.